I'm here again this morning with Mark Kulinski. He's the Chief Executive of Community Living Australia as part of our series of weekly interviews to help you understand and make the most of the National Disability Insurance Scheme, or as it is known, NDIS. Morning, Mark.
Good morning, Ian.
Let's, in a few words, try and explain what Community Living Australia is for me.
Community Living Australia is a local South Australian not-for-profit organisation that provides services to people with disabilities in the Riverland and across many regions in South Australia.
Now, last week we spoke about how people can apply to join the NDIS. It's not as simple as we would hope. So what are we going to be talking about today? Hopefully we're going to be able to answer that question.
Well, it's not simple. I guess I equate it to like going to the bank and having to provide 100 points to open an account. But following on from last week, I guess we wanted to look at what documentation you need to get funding under the NDIS.
So we just want to say the NDIS is run by the government, so that's one of the reasons that you need all the documentation.
Absolutely. They're accountable for giving millions of dollars out across Australia, so they need that evidence to prove that they've done the right thing as well, because they get audited. So I guess if people actually want to hear our previous interviews, it's really important that they can actually hear these interviews on our website.
You can jump on Google too and look for Community Living Australia as well, and you've got a Facebook page. Like previous weeks, we're going to be doing this again using a bit of an example and represent a real life situation, some of our listeners or someone they might know. So Mark, tell us the example that you're going to discuss with us today.
Well, today we'll be talking about Matt and Elsie. Matt is the husband of Elsie. They are in their late 30s and they have two children aged 12 and 12 and 9. Elsie loves riding horses and last year tragically had a bad accident falling off a horse, and her injuries resulted in her being left as a quadriplegic. Matt is looking to gain access to the NDIS and to help fund to purchase some of the supports his wife needs.
Yeah, that's a tragic story in itself. So can you run through for us, Mark, the documentation and evidence that Matt and Eloise would need when making their access request to join NDIS?
Absolutely. So I guess what's really important, we want the NDIA, and that's the agency that manages the NDIS, to make a really good and fast decision. Otherwise, if we don't give them enough information up front, it takes forever to get a decision out of them. So, and I understand that. So I guess Matt and Elsie would need evidence of the diagnosis of Elsie's disability, and that would come from her treating doctor or specialist. And I guess there is the NDIS access request form, as we've mentioned before, and the NDIS supporting evidence form on the NDIS website. So I think that's where you'd go to collect that information.
Yeah. Yep.
So Matt and Elsie would also want to include any information about any treatment Elsie is receiving, and this could be, for example, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, or aquatherapy, and this would, help demonstrate Elsie's needs. You can provide this information by getting your specialist or allied health professional to complete the professional report section on the access request form. And I guess I just want to quickly run through what types of health professionals would provide this information.
Good idea.
The GP, really important, your local doctor, the paediatrician, orthopaedic surgeon, occupational therapist, speech pathologist, neurologist, psychologist, psychiatric, and psychotherapist.
I think what you said is important too, Mark, before. The more information you can supply to the NDIA, the better it will be for you, and the speed of you getting the facts that you need so that you can start being a part of the NDIS.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So people can call us at any time to help them on their NDIS journey. Yeah. But perhaps go straight to our website, and there's a lot of information there. And like I said, these interviews are on the website.
Yeah, they are. So, Mark, we want to thank you for coming in once again. I look forward to having you back next week because it's a very complex issue, the NDIS, and as you said, administered by the NDIA. So I appreciate you coming in, and we look forward to talking more about the NDIS next week.
Excellent. Thanks, Ian.